What's up guys, welcome to another vlog. Today I am at my workplace NFS Motors. In my previous video I've already spoken about what we do. So I run this place NFS Motors. We've got a showroom here where we deal with pre-owned premium superbikes, and we've got a garage here as well, which is a multi-brand garage. We service all motorcycles above 300cc. So today I'm going to talk about the braking on the RS 457, which is a very hot topic. Let's get in. The 457 is parked inside. Here's the baby. Wait. Yep, so here is the baby, the RS 457. This is a prismatic dark shade, but it's got a gloss finish because I've got a gloss PPF done on it. It's done here itself at our store. I was one of the first ones to get it in Bangalore, in India as well. I have covered over 3,000 kilometers on the bike already, which includes a lot of city riding, highway touring, high-speed runs on the highway, a bit of ghats also I've covered. We've also participated in room drag race, and we've got some good results there as well. So yeah, this is the kind of riding we've done on the bike. It's 3,000 plus kilometers, so I think I can share some good experience with you. So one concern always has been the braking. Apart from that, it's a wonderful motorcycle. I've always spoken about how good the bike is and how enjoyable it is. There's no two ways about that. But braking is a concern, and it's confusing. Why is this issue there? The bike has fully sintered Brembo brake pads. It's got steel braided lines. These are steel braided lines. Braking from Bibre, the calipers as well as the master cylinder. These are generic on most motorcycles. So why is it still an issue? It's confusing. I did my own testing with a lot of experiments, with a lot of parts, to understand what is the root cause and what we can do to improve the braking of this motorcycle, because it is very important. So there are two issues with regard to the braking. One is the ABS kicking in too aggressively. Yes, ABS is supposed to intervene and kick in when required, but on the RS 457, the ABS kicks in a bit too aggressively, more than what is needed. So I have ridden other motorcycles. I've owned the motorcycles like the Ninja 300, and I've ridden the Yamaha R3. I've owned an RC 390. This kind of intrusiveness is not there in these motorcycles. The second issue is the brake fade. Now, in my very first video, I have not spoken about the brake fade because I did not experience it in my first 800 kilometers. But when I did some hard riding, when I went to Penakonda Fort with DV, Ranjan and Sam, we did a lot of hard riding, which includes speeds of even up to 200 kilometers per hour, 180s, 190s, and it was pretty hot. The weather was pretty hot. We did a lot of hard riding, which involved a lot of hard braking. So that's where we started feeling the brake fade. What happens in brake fade is, here, ABS kicking in, the lever kicks in a bit aggressively. When you're trying to pull the lever, the lever kicks in too aggressively, and this increases the stopping distance. Brake fade, what happens is the lever goes in more than what's needed. It goes in. So this is what it is. This is the normal braking. It goes furthermore inside. So that is dangerous. That doesn't happen when you take a short spin around the block in the city. This happens when you ride hard and you brake really hard. This can happen in hot conditions when you're riding on the track, which already most of the media guys have reported. And then I felt it when we did some hard riding on the highway. And you can experience this also in ghats, where you tend to brake a lot. When you are on the ghats, obviously on every corner you're braking too much. I feel that's when again you can experience the brake fade. This can be very dangerous if it's not addressed. We have given the feedback to Aprilia. They're saying that they're working on it. They're getting better brake pads, race brake pads. But yeah, personally I could not wait for that long, because for me braking is really important. Obviously braking is important for everybody, and I could not wait for them to sort the issue. I tried to fix the brakes. Of course, Falcon Mobikes has been very supportive to me, taking feedback and giving the same feedback to the Aprilia officials. Aprilia officials even came down and we met, and I've given them all the feedback that was needed, and they said that they're trying to look into it and they're working on it, and get some better brake pads. But I could not personally wait for that long for them to sort the issue, because I told them upfront one thing is, I'm going to the track soon. I'm going to go racing soon. And I cannot wait till they sort the issue. So also, yeah, we have the option to switch off the rear ABS. So how that works is, you do a long press here on this button. It says rear ABS is switched off. So when the rear ABS is switched off, the bike is programmed to have lesser intrusiveness on the ABS, even in the front brake. This is how race ABS works. This is like race ABS. So race ABS, what happens is, the ABS kicks in a lot later. The rear ABS anyways is switched off, but the front ABS also, it kicks in a lot later. Yeah, I personally always prefer riding in this setup with the rear ABS switched off, because the front ABS intervention is a lot lesser, and I would prefer it that way. But the only problem is, now see, the rear ABS is switched off. You can see it here. When you switch off the ignition and turn it on again, the dual channel ABS is again activated. So each time I switch off the ignition and switch it on, the dual channel ABS is activated again. So I'll have to again press this, long press, and again rear ABS. Sometimes I might forget doing it, right? I might not always remember to switch off the rear ABS. So yeah, that's fine. I mean, that I can manage. A lot of media reviews said that the brakes were organic and maybe sintered brake pads will help. But the production bike that came to me, I was one of the first guys to own it in Bangalore. We got fully sintered brake pads from Brembo in the front. And the rear was an organic brake pad. I have done my own R&D, and I'll tell you one by one what all I have tried. So I'll talk about what all I have tried. Here are the EBC brake pads. This is FA606HH. These are double sintered brake pads from EBC, which is common for a lot of motorcycles, like even the KTM 390. So I've tested this on the bike. So I'll tell you what all I've tested. I have tried the stock Brembo brake pads and the EBC brake pads in all these scenarios. I've ridden the bike with dual channel ABS. I have ridden the bike with the rear ABS switched off, and in both these cases, both the brake pads with the rear ABS switched off, the intrusiveness was lesser. And then I rode the bike with the ABS completely switched off, that is by pulling out the fuse. After pulling out the fuse, when the ABS was completely switched off, the bike felt better with both the brake pads. It felt really good. Obviously, because one of the major concern was that the ABS was kicking in too aggressively. Now that intervention is itself not there. So the braking was too good. The bike was stopping effortlessly. But I would not recommend this to everybody, because the whole point of having an ABS is to prevent the wheel from locking, and the wheel can lock up with some really hard braking. And there would be a lot of beginner riders also getting this bike, so I would not recommend that to them to try this on the streets. But of course, if you are a track guy, you have been on the track, you have some experience on track, I would just say simply pull out the fuse, ride the bike without ABS, and you will enjoy it. Yeah, now what is better, Brembo or EBC? I would give the EBCs a benefit of doubt, because I used it for a very short span around the block, around my showroom. It was not even 2-3 kilometers. The Brembos felt a bit better, but maybe the EBCs, if they had run a little more, they would have felt even better. So I would say EBC is not significantly better than the Brembo or vice versa. Both of them are good, and this is not going to really sort your issue. Maybe the EBC would feel better after doing some more kilometers, because even the brake pads need to break in, right? So then what I got next was, I got this RCB master cylinder. It's RCB S1 17mm. So I tried this master cylinder. Here's what it looks like. It had some adjustable lever, and this was the master cylinder. I tried this, and I also installed DOT 5.1 brake fluid. The DOT 5.1 brake fluid is much better than DOT 4, which is there by default. The DOT 5.1 is better at operating at very high temperatures compared to the DOT 4. So I tried the RCB master cylinder, and then I got the DOT 5.1 brake fluid, and I also got Brembo race braking pads. Yes, I was one of the first ones to try the Brembo race brake pads. Now these might not be very different from the Aprilia race brake pads which they are bringing in. About 9,000 rupees for the front brake pads, they're bringing it as an accessory. So that has still not come from Aprilia, but we've got the Brembo brake pads directly from Brembo, and those are here. This is what the cover looks like. I have them installed on the bike currently. These are stock brake pads, but yeah, this is what the packing looks like. This is the part number, I think. I felt there was an improvement in braking for sure with this setup, all three things combined. With the RCB master cylinder, what used to happen, with just a slight tap, just with this much play, there was a lot of sharpness in the braking, with just this much. This one, if you look at the stock master cylinder, it goes in a fair bit. But with the RCB, with just this, I could do the braking. So the initial bite was too good. But again, the problem what I faced with that was, when you ride hard again and when you're braking too hard, the sharpness is too much from here. Crazy initial bite. But with this again, the ABS was kicking in too aggressively. So when you're doing slower rides and you're just riding around the city or not riding too hard, the braking was too good. But when you're doing some really hard braking, again, the ABS used to kick in too aggressively. That again used to increase the stopping distance. So despite of having a good master cylinder, the ABS was still kicking in aggressively and increasing the stopping distance. So again, I was not happy with that. So the last setup that I'm currently running on right now is the stock master cylinder, the Brembo race brake pads, and DOT 5.1 brake fluid. With this setup, I feel a lot better at the moment because the braking has improved, and that uneasy feeling on the RCB master cylinder that I had because of the ABS kicking too aggressively, that's not there. So somehow even the pulse on the lever, it's not as much as the stock brake pads. But with the race brake pads, this has reduced a bit. The play has reduced a bit. And I am actually feeling a lot better with this current setup at the moment. Mr. Arun Ram has installed the Brembo RCS 15 master cylinder on his bike, and he seems to be very happy with it. But the price of that master cylinder is about 20,000 rupees, and then if you have to import it, again there's a lot of custom charges and all, and it's going to go close to 40,000 rupees. So everybody is not willing to spend so much on just a master cylinder. So I would suggest try the Brembo race brake pads first. Because see, at Aprilia you have this accessory which is the race brake pad, which will cost about 9,000 rupees for the front brake pad alone. We have the Brembo brake pads itself directly from Brembo, and that's costing about 6,000 rupees. So try that first, see how you feel. If you feel there is an improvement, good. And then maybe even get DOT 5.1 brake fluid. The brake fluid is not going to cost you so much. It's hardly some 500, 600 rupees. You can get better brake fluid, and that will improve further more. And furthermore, if you want some better braking, then maybe look at investing on a better master cylinder. I'm still testing. I still have to ride Mr. Arun Ram's bike on a longer distance to see how the Brembo RCS 15 feels, because I took his bike for a short spin around the showroom only. But I want to do some high speeds and experience what it feels like, and how is the ABS aggressiveness, how is the ABS intrusion on that. I'm yet to try that. With the RCB, yes, it was good, but the RCB, what it costed about 10,000 rupees, and it was still okay compared to the Brembo RCS 15 in terms of pricing. But at the moment, I am a lot more happier and comfortable with this current setup, that is the stock master cylinder, Brembo race brake pads, and DOT 5.1 brake fluid. I would say it is 70% better than the stock setup with all these upgrades. So I would say spend on something smaller like brake pads first, try it and see how you feel, and then maybe upgrade to better brake fluid like DOT 5.1, and then if you still feel that you need something better, then consider investing on a better master cylinder, which is a lot more expensive. RCB is about 10,000 rupees, the Brembo RCS 15 is about 20,000 rupees, And yeah, if you're importing it, it's a lot more expensive. It goes up to 40,000 rupees, because if you hand carry it, it's going to be cheaper, but with the import duties and all in India, it's going to cost about 40,000 Indian rupees. My R&D is still not done. I am also going to try changing the caliper itself to something like maybe a KTM setup. I will try that and see how it feels, because this braking should not be the deal breaker for you guys. Everything about the bike is so enjoyable still, because the handling is too good, the power delivery is good, the engine is so tractable, and it's so much fun. The only shortfall is the braking, and if that is fixed, I'm sure this bike is going to be a blast on the track, on the streets, on the highway. It's going to be super enjoyable. We even participated in the Vroom drag meet with the RS 457 in the unrestricted category of up to 500cc. That itself is a lot. I mean, this was a bone stock bike competing with stage 3 tuned race bikes. We did get some good result. Our friend Sam Star, that's his YouTube channel. I have put the link down. He's got this. He finished third in his class. So remember, this is a bone stock bike with no performance mods competing with stage 3 tuned bikes. So he's finished third with 13.65 seconds, and I managed a timing of 14.59 seconds. So I am a lot heavier, obviously. This was a first time experience for me. I am about 90 kilos, but Sam is about 55 kilos, and he was superb. The way he launched it was really good. It looks like the Big Daddy RS V4. I mean, I can't get over with saying how enjoyable the bike is, because it is so good. The handling is too good, the power is so good, the engine is so tractable, and it looks so beautiful like the RS V4 and the RS 660. But one thing that needs to be fixed is the braking. Hopefully this can be fixed and the bike will be a blast. That's it for today, guys. Stay tuned for more informative content on the RS 457. Soon I will be unveiling my RS V4 also properly to you guys. You will see some mods and upgrades on it. Thank you for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. That's going to be really helpful for us. Bye-bye.